What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World with another ShoPowSho. So, of course, it's your dobro, the Babinka boy, the leader of the Hala Hala homies in the Center Gang Gang. So excited because today I have the legends. They're legends to me now because they are paving the way in the Filipino community and for all women out here that, love pop culture, and they're doing it right, doing it big with everything that they've done. I love these ladies so much. I have Cecilia and Waverley Lim. They don't know this, but I've known them for so long through mutuals, and just what they've been doing has just been so inspiring. And I'm so excited to have you guys finally on ShoPowSho. How are you today?
Hey, we're doing great. Thank you for having us, Kuya.
I love that action. That was beautiful.
I try. You ladies, again, are killing it. I love what you've done with this work. And now we're going to have a volume 2. I'm going to have the links in the description so everyone can support the new Kickstarter campaign. But let's start where it all began. And how this came to be. I know with you, Mama.
Yes.
You're a fan of Filipino mythology. It's on the back of issue 1.
Yes.
Can you tell me how it started with you and then bringing your daughter into the fold and this combined love to start Kwento Comics?
Oh, okay. Well, so I'm kind of old. So I was born in the 60s. We didn't have internet. We didn't have cable TV. We had comics though, and they were on every bus stop, newsstand. And so I started learning about the comic world. I was a big fantasy sci-fi reader. And then whenever I went back to the Philippines, I was always really interested in Filipino mythology. It was hard to find. It was hard to find the books on it. But every once in a while, I'd come across a story or two or a book. And so that always really stuck with me because I loved reading about all the Norse, Roman gods, Greek gods. So that was always in my mind, was like, wait a second, where's all the Filipino mythology? And then when I got older, was starting to find some more of it. And even on the internet now, you can find a lot more of our stories. So that's how it all started, with my love of fantasy and mythology.
I love that. And very much the same with me when I was growing up, like Norse mythology, Greek mythology. But then I know I'm Filipino and I know we have these things because I would hear grumblings, but it was so difficult to find that information. And to then find out that, oh my gosh, we were the leaders of like mythology, like with creating different spirits to talk about certain things and give stories on certain things was just mind blowing. So you grew up loving it. How did you introduce Waverly to it? And what was that like, Waverly? Were you like, what, Mom? Like, are you serious? How was that? What can you recall, Waverly, of hearing that about your mom?
Growing up, I grew up in a really nerdy household between my mom and my brother. My brother loves anime, manga.
He's a gamer.
He's a video game designer. My mom was always really into super high fantasy stuff. Got to actually catch up to her in Game of Thrones once I got older,
Yeah.
funny enough. So, because the show was going on for so long. So I always knew that she had a love of fantasy. So I would kind of tag along with them. We grew up going to the midnight Thursday premiere of Harry Potter. And I grew up with the, phase 1 of the Avengers and everything, but I didn't really grow up reading comics all that much. I was a nerd in my own right for something. I was a musical theater nerd actually growing up. I ended up going to school for theater, film, and television. So we all kind of had our own like niche pockets of nerdiness, if you will, that kind of all became conjoined as a family. But no, my mom just always had such a love for these super high fantasies and the world building that was involved in all of them. So it was pretty natural once we started conceptualizing Kwento Comics that for us to, I don't know, I guess bring the worlds together.
Yeah.
If you
we just
will.
kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so absolutely beautiful and respect on all accounts. That's just amazing. So, okay, so what was the apple hitting the head to be like, okay, Mom, I have this love affair. I want to maybe do something with it. You with your film background, Waverly, to just like, when was the light bulb that came off? Like, let's take this knowledge and let's create something with it. Let's create this company and just start kicking ass.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess I'll start. In 2007, so Waverly was born entertaining, right? She just came out, hip hop dancer at like age 4, whatever you started, maybe 6. Um, but she's always wanted to be an actress, always wanted to be in entertainment. We moved out to LA. I walked away from my big corporate job in 2017 to support Waverly and her acting career. And we came out here to LA, and she started doing her auditions. But then we're like, wait a second, where are all the roles? Where are all the, Asian roles, Filipino roles, whatever. It was really interesting. And the light bulb kind of went off through that process. And people we talked to in entertainment, they said, well, everything starts in the writer's room. You got to write about it before you can make it a film or before it can be pop culture. So Waverly and I got together and we're like, okay, so if we write something, how are we going to do this? And, comics was just a natural solution because it's so visual. And
it's like a directorial storyboard, if you will. That's how I translated it in my mind.
Exactly. And our culture, our mythology, our the Philippines, Asians, everything's very vibrant. And we were able to do that with comics to bring and you know what? There are so many talented female artists in our space that we wanted to showcase. So, that's kind of the genesis of it all, right?
I love that. This is so beautiful. I'm just loving the vibe. Creating, and you as a mom to go support your daughter. I need more of that energy because there's few and far between of Filipino parents, I'll just say, that will go out. Because my mom still to this day, even though I'm making a living, we're like, when are you going to get a real job? Like, Mom, I still have this other thing that I do too that, like, come on. But I just love this energy.
I always want to shout her out for what she did because, I mean, when you're a teenager, you like really just don't understand like a lot of the things that are happening. And now being on the other end of it, oh my gosh, now being mid-20s, I feel ancient. But being older now and seeing what she did for me during that time is something I'll never be able to repay her back for, other than just trying to work hard and get our story and our mission out there. But I really commend her on that because I sit on panels with other Asian and Filipino panels where people are artists and talking about, we talk about these real topics like how to get your family to be supportive of these things. As we know, Filipinos are so talented across the board. We are so artistic. We are so creative, and we are pushed to be so at a young age. But yet when it comes down to putting pedal to the metal, when it comes to doing it as a career choice, it's often discouraged. And so I always shout my mom out because she went through that growing up. I mean, she wanted to be a journalist. She was editor of her school's newspaper. She had her own office. That's the career path she wanted to do, but that wasn't, feasible. It wasn't
an approved career.
Yes,
exactly.
We're doctors, lawyers, engineers, nurses. And so I give her all the props for letting me and my brother both pursue creative passions and try to make a career and a living out of it.
That's so absolutely. I have to tell you guys, that's how I heard of you all. This story of this mom and daughter crew that are forming this company. I don't know if it's through Kaitlyn or somebody else, but in the Filipino creative stream, group community, like there was this mom and daughter and they're supporting each other and they're making this happen, and all women. I was like, let's go. Like we need more of this. I just was so enamored and was just from that point, like so excited to talk to you guys, to just get some of that energy and feed off of that and just salute you all for what you're doing, and I hope you continue to build. And that's what you're doing right now. And everybody support the second campaign. It's in the Kickstarter. I'm just gonna go off right now because I'm having so much fun. But I love it. So okay, mom reaches out to you. She comes out there. She's in LA. We're doing this. What were your thoughts? Because you come from film. Like, where do we start? How do we get an artist? Like, we need to come up with like the Bible for what these characters are going to be. can you tell me how that just how it, we further kicked this off, bringing in Kaitlyn, who was amazing. I also know Jennifer that she also had on board. Just all these different amazing women, and again, women. Let's go! Like to start this off.
Well, that was really important for us. We knew that, again, like we said, it starts in the writer's room. We really needed women who looked like us, who shared in our unique identity and perspective to tell this very specific story. I think we knew off the bat that combining the Filipino experience mixed with the lived experience of Filipinos abroad is something that our creative community has been trying to do for a while now, is really bridge the gap between, both sides of the pond. And so that was something that we definitely took into consideration, whether it was building our team and having Fil-Am and Filipino artists, perspectives, doing outreach, going to the Philippines to do research
right,
was so important for us. So we really wanted to make sure that if we were going to do this, that we did it right. And we made sure that we paid homage and respect to the comic book medium. So like learning about how to do all of that. I mean, when we first started, I don't even think I knew the difference between pencils, inks to flats, colors.
Yeah.
So we really had to learn an entire new medium from scratch, which was really fun.
But because, we didn't work at DC or Marvel before, we came with a blank slate.
Yes.
We were able to do things that, we wanted to do. So, for instance, in some of our issues, we have Filipino street food. We have Filipino graffiti. I tell my artists, I'm like, put it all in there.
We even put Filipino companies and Filipino products, product placement in the book, so we can support and uplift other, Filipino businesses. Yeah. So it's creating community and coalition building around, the IP as well, and how far can we take it?
Even just with the language and where it's set. So it's set in modern day Cebu. It's not set in Manila. So there's a shout out to our Visayan roots. My dad came from Bacolod. My husband's mom came from Aklan. So it's
Kaitlyn also as well.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of folks on our team who have Visayan roots and not necessarily Tagalog roots. But it was those specific things that we wanted to touch on. We wanted to kind of like break the mold for everything that we did, actually.
Yeah.
I love it. So what was the pre-pro like? So, okay, we're doing this. We're building this team out, blank slate, learning as we go, but finding a community, hopefully that'll help make it happen, which I think you have, and just, it's amazing. How long did it take to get to issue 1? And now, we have 9 issues in the first trade, and now a whole nother set that we're going to get in volume 2 that we're hoping everybody supports right now after they're done watching this interview. Yes. Link below.
Issues 1 through 5 is in volume 1. You're getting 6 through 10 in volume 2. So definitely check it out.
Yes.
We say issue 10, volume 2 leaves on a banger. So many questions. So things are answered, but also will leave readers excited for what's to come. Yes.
Right.
But issue 1 really was, it was all a labor of love for sure, because we were learning everything from scratch. But also we wanted to make sure that we had set the story up, down the line. So between us, Kaitlyn and Jen, we had a bunch of writers retreats where we really develop the story over time, where we want the characters to go, because the artists, once they get their hands on it, we're so lucky to have a team where everyone cares. I say, because we're a team of Asian women, that we're all A++ students and perfectionists. So we're gonna ask what's inside the bag and where did this person come from the last scene, even if we don't see that character. How are we setting them up for the character development to come in the further issues? They're asking all just such really intricate questions where, even developing the world building and the powers and all of that stuff. So just the story and building out the characters took us at least a few years. 3 years.
About 2019 is when we started talking to Kaitlyn.
Yeah. And Kaitlyn was so awesome at taking our seedling of an idea, which it really stemmed from, everyone always gets that question as an actor. like, what do you want to play? What do you want to do? Which sometimes I hate almost because it's like, that's what we're for, to be a to do all the different things. Never want to categorize yourself in one box necessarily, but action was always something that I really enjoyed, and seeing Filipina and Asian women at the helm of that in a position of power, as we know, with the stereotypes of Asian women and the subserviency and all of the stereotypes that we've seen in media. It was really important that we showed women in positions of strength and power naturally, as Filipino women are, and our culture is so matriarchal as well. So that was also, again, all those different themes and things that we experience as women. We really wanted it to feel nuanced and powerful. And Kaitlyn was able to find the mythology of Haliya and Bakunawa and really fuse it with all of the themes and touch points that we wanted with this first story.
Yeah. Kaitlyn did a great job in creating just this epic, story with multiple storylines and really interesting characters. And so I think the fans will really enjoy it and you have to get to I guess issue 10, because that's when everything starts really coming together.
And all the characters start interweaving. To put it in perspective for people, we really started hitting the ground running my freshman year of college, and we launched my last quarter senior year at UCLA.
2022.
So yeah.
Amazing. I just remember hearing from Kaitlyn in our little group of her working and just burning the midnight oil, and just it being such a passion project, but just such a love, that it was just so beautiful to see. And I went in part because I think I was working on the legendary Lumpia squad with shout out to Kid Heroes, my pal Pat. Y'all know Pat, with the Lumpia films. So it was like really cool, and I was just loving the vibe and the energy. So you guys came up with this concept, you dropped these issues. We're now promoting this second volume. Was it all plotted out from the beginning, and now we're now in this fun ride where we can now hit this installment and this installment? How far out are you in planning with some of these ideas, with everything?
Oh, I was gonna say it's kind of both. We always strategize and plan kind of the main arcs and bullet points of what we want to hit. But with anything, I'm sure if you talk to anybody, comic books, film, television, things are always malleable and adaptable to change what you want it to be, at least with where the story's heading. I mean, even just our pilot, we had we tell everyone that issue 1 and 2 were actually written together, and we had to break it up because we realized the storytelling mechanics of comic books, we weren't able to fit certain things in. And so we were also very much learning as we went. And that's something that I always stress. There's some people actually have been like, oh, the comic books have been like improving. I can see like where you guys were learning different things, from word balloons to the bleed and trims of your pages. And so I say that all not to hype us up, but to say that we were very much learning as we went. We were learning with the writing team, we were learning with our art team. But I also think that's really special to know that, like, and I hope that's encouragement to people to just start.
Yes,
and you don't need to have all the answers figured out right away.
Anybody can, if we can do it, anybody can do it.
Oh, yes, truly.
I love that. And yes, you're so right. And I think it's so beautiful. And I love that you present that, because it just shows you how everybody can do this. And when I was hearing that and hearing different people on your team and stuff, about how everything was coming along, as I was like the outside person on your journey with y'all's stuff, I was just loving and living it, because you're not going to get it right the first time, but you'll get it, you'll learn along the way, and it's going to be beautiful. But already this is amazing. And I want to just, maybe throw some love towards, some of these artists that I think are part of a special print thing that you're going to have available in this new campaign. And then you had Wills Portacio, who is a legend. He worked with us on the Loopy stuff, but he's an icon, and to have him involved. And just now that you guys are out here, you're killing it. You're meeting the rest of the community, just the vibe and the energy. And I hope that we're all cheering you on, because I am definitely cheering you all on.
That means a lot. It really does. I mean, we can't do it without our community, right? And it's so important that we could just continue championing our own stories. That's really what this is all about. I mean, between the over 7,000 islands, I don't think across the globe people just know how diverse our culture is within ourselves and our own community. And I think it's so important that we just continue sharing our stories because there's so much more to be said and to be told. You see, I mean, we just came from WonderCon this past weekend, and you see the different Filipino booths now even popping up at these conventions, and each different creator, they have such a different perspective. Even though we're all from the same Filipino or Philam community, we all have different stories to tell and to share. So support all of it. It's all important.
Definitely. We probably already touched on this, but I just want to just re-emphasize it because it means so much to me because I'm raising a young woman, and the fact that you all chose to highlight and have an all-female team. Why was that your plan at the beginning, and why is it important for you for that for young women to see this? Because I am living when I saw that was happening with you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting that you asked that question. We do get that question a lot, but initially it didn't quite start off that when we started that
we didn't consciously.
Yeah, we didn't say we wanted an all-female team, but what we did want to have was, as Waverley had mentioned, was, a strong female characters. We wanted a story with lots of female characters, and that led us to Kaitlyn, because we wanted that perspective, that point of view, and a writer that could write about the female experience. And then when we went out to go look at our artists, we got lots of artists giving us their portfolios, and we just ended up finding female artists because it just fit the story better. Their artwork was very pretty, or very, they were drawing the female characters that we wanted to portray. I mean, I tell everybody like this, I don't look like She-Hulk or Wonder Woman. I'm Filipina. So I don't want necessarily all our characters to be drawn that way. I want them to be drawn that look like us, so that your daughter can see herself in our stories, in our comic books.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It just so happened that it just fit what we wanted to do. And
then we kind of we were like, well, then consciously that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah.
And so we kind of took that and ran with it, that in order to, again, tell these, I know the word authenticity gets thrown around so much, but naturally it makes sense that that's how it happened with a story like this in particular.
And there's not a lot of female artists who have steady work in the comic book industry. And so we got that a lot from a lot of our artists.
Even though women have been a part of the comic book industry for such a long time now.
Filipinos, we have been here.
Filipinos, yes, exactly. And so it was really exciting that we realized through doing the artist search and all of that we could be a platform to provide more of those opportunities for these talented women to actually have like serialized projects. I mean, it blows my mind when we went to the Philippines and we met our artists for the first time, that they don't get to really work on Filipino stories necessarily.
Yes.
All too often.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's so important to see yourselves represented. It just, we all know how much representation matters, or we should, out here in the world, because we are living in crazy times and it's so important. I won't get on the soapbox about that because I live in DC. Again, I love what you all are doing and what you're all about. I want to ask, because I'm also looking at the time, and I'm gonna let everybody know, I've already talked to Cecilia and Waverley about coming back to do what people normally see, what I do with ShoPowSho. So fingers crossed that they'll come back and they'll give me more of the time so we can really get in there further. But I'm gonna keep it on Mask of Haliya and Kwento Comics. So we have this, new volume about to drop. Are there other plans for like maybe other titles touching on other characters as well?
Yes. So this volume 2 is culminates the 10 issues for the Mask of Haliya. But it's interesting that you ask our other projects. We
actually teased our other project in issue 5.
Yes, actually.
Way back when, in a specific wooden relief panel that shows all the different mythological Philippine deities, that has heavily influences the next book that
Right.
we've been working on
Right.
for a
So
while.
yes, so we have another series coming up, and we just want to create the KCU, the Kwento Comics universe.
Let's go.
Um,
I love it.
And we
And
also
then
want to this one's again dark in tone, and I think it's so funny because again we came from WonderCon and people are like, "Whoa, this art is crazy! Wow, these monsters are scary." And I go, "Just because we're women doesn't mean we can't do the horror, the action sequences just as well as the men can." Okay?
let's go. For real. For real. Because I recognize
Yeah,
myself as a man in the patriarchy. We're a lot of assholes out here. So I'm like,
you're
so
a good
let's
one. You're a
go.
good one,
I
Kuya.
try. So with that being said, just because you said KCU, the Quinto Comics universe, with you having a film background, Waverly, obviously, and I know you have a lot of actors involved in your squad. What about what about this KCCU, the Quinto's Comics Cinematic Universe?
there you go.
I'm saying,
Absolutely.
you know,
Well, we
Patricio, you know me now. You got your boy. Uh, Kaitlyn's part of our squad, the Fab Filipino Actors Barcada. Like, we're out here, and we're ready.
We're out here. We're ready.
And
You're
you too.
ready.
You're an actor
We're
yourself. Like,
ready. We're
come
all
on,
ready to see it.
let's go.
Yes. All I can say is all of those things are on the table, and we've been working really hard
Yeah.
behind the scenes
To develop.
to develop our IP
Right.
past the comic books.
All right, I love it. I'll just let you know I'm gonna put my bid in. I'm ready to rock with Quento Comics and make things happen, and all the people we know in our communities. I'm so excited, and I'm so delighted to have this time to just give you and send virtual flowers, show love, because ever since I heard about you both, I was loving it, and I'm living through y'all. And just thank you so much. And again, I am here to support 24/7. I love what you're all about. Everybody, the amazing Cecilia and Waverley Lim, Kwento Comics, support the campaign for the new Kickstarter. It's going to be in the description below. I'm going to have all the links there. And then please, ladies, come back so I can just dig in more to find out just all the things about you guys and how just amazing y'all are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh. Twins, Jinx.
I love you guys. Everybody, that is Kwento Comics, Cecilia and Waverley Lim. Go support the campaign for the new Kickstarter for Mask of Haliya. Again, description in the link below. Salamat, mahal kita. I'm Kuya P. Nerds Rule the World, ShoPowSho. All right, there's a cut, guys. Boom. All about the project. All right, cool. Here we go. In a 1, 2,